Today, in the world of cannabis, a coalition of celebrities and politicians urge President Biden to issue cannabis crime pardons. A new poll indicates that 3 of 4 U.S. voters support some form of cannabis legalization, and a group of U.S. House representatives introduced an updated Safe Banking Act. It's Monday, April 5th, and this is your TRICHOMES Morning Buzz.
Broadcasting live from the TRICHOMES.com studios in Southern California. It's time for your Morning Buzz. We bring you late-breaking news that keeps you up to date with what's happening in the cannabis industry.
First up, in a report by Marijuana Moment, rappers Drake, Killer Mike, and Meek Mill, along with a group of musicians, celebrities, and politicians, are pleading with President Joe Biden to pardon a rapper serving up to 8 years in federal prison for a nonviolent cannabis conviction. In a letter sent to President Biden, the signers made the argument for absolution for Terrell Davis, stage name Ralo, who was convicted for cannabis trafficking in 2018. The letter was headed by Weldon Angelos, who obtained clemency from President Donald Trump for his own cannabis sentence. Soon after taking office, Representatives Earl Blumenauer and Barbara Lee and activist organizations made a kindred request for the president to issue generalized pardons for people convicted for federal cannabis crimes. Last year, the group worked on a bill that was passed by the House to end federal cannabis prohibition. They also pointed out Biden's previous campaign statements in favor of decriminalization and expungement of past cannabis records, which Biden has not addressed since being inaugurated as president.
And next, Marijuana Moment reports that according to a latest survey, 3 out of 4 U.S. voters favor either national cannabis legalization or allowing states to decide on the issue. Just 25% want cannabis prohibition to be implemented universally throughout the nation. The Hill and Harris X conducted a poll that asked people regarding their thoughts on cannabis policy with 3 choices: federal cannabis legalization, individual states deciding on the issue, or federal cannabis prohibition. 38% of respondents believe the federal government must implement cannabis policy reform, while 37% believe it should be left to the states, and 25% believe prohibition should be implemented nationwide. While the survey indicates a nearly equal divide among support for federal cannabis legalization and leaving it up to the states, there is no substantial push to have the federal government compel states to make or approve cannabis policy reform. The poll does show how different ideological groups of voters view the topic, with Republicans preferring state-level legalization and Democrats preferring federal legalization.
Last up, in a report by the National Law Review, Representatives Ed Perlmutter, Democrat of Colorado, Nydia Velasquez, Democrat of New York, Steve Stivers, Republican of Ohio, and Warren Davidson, Republican of Ohio, have proposed the Safe Banking Act of 2021. They've gotten 120 more co-sponsors so far, including 16 more Republicans. The proposal received 202 more co-sponsors in the 116th Congress, including 25 more Republicans, and was passed with a 321 to 103 vote, including 102 approval votes from Republicans. The Secure and Fair Enforcement or Safe Banking Act of 2019 was approved by the U.S. House of Representatives in September 2019, making it the first cannabis legislation bill to pass the chamber. The updated bill was presented in both the Senate and House with the aim to reform federal cannabis laws and reduce the public safety risk in communities across the country. Under the bill, profits from purchases with legal cannabis businesses would cease to be deemed earnings from an illegal sale. Businesses that provide financial services for cannabis companies would also be covered under the law. The bill has yet to receive a hearing by the House Financial Services Committee.
That was today's Buzz. Thanks for listening. For more cannabis news and insights from industry professionals and a place to discuss these stories and others, visit TRICHOMES.com.
And be sure to catch up with all of our other cannabis industry-related podcasts like Hash It Out, Careers in Cannabis, or the International Cannabis Conversation, wherever you get your podcasts. For trichomes.com, I'm RJ Balde.
And I'm Devin Liao. Have a great week.